What's up, everybody? Steven here, the horror freak Ed5, and of course here with Echo. If you want to do your
oh, since that seems to be the big little video, Echo Hero here. Cha, cha, cha.
all right.
I wonder how long I can sit there and hold that, Echo.
Like, let's time it.
Yeah, one day I can do it. 3 hours later, I'm like, that was a bad idea. But call Guinness.
Like, well, or we'll just edit it down into one long one and put it on rerun just to psych people up.
Hey, I want to be in the Guinness World Record somehow. So the longest, holding what? Well, I don't know what they would call the record.
I don't know what they would call that. Weird sound echoing, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we looked up the longest stream was 27 days.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted.
So they didn't even sleep, or would they switch off, or how'd that work?
Well, it was a company, so odds are they kept having somebody coming in.
Okay.
So it's probably like, if it's like a company or like a group, you can have the whole like, I'm done, I'm tired, tag out, okay, and just keep going in,
keep rotating. It had to be they have some other job or a company, because it's like, well, I got to work at this time. How are we going to keep it going?
It was some company in China.
Oh, okay.
So again, it goes to if you have like a big enough company, you can do it. It's just when someone gets tired, it's just tag it. But the trick is uninterrupted.
That's crazy.
Which odds are it means before you tag out, the person has to be there, and then you can leave. It has to keep going and going and going.
And going and going. Speaking of going and going and going, here's Tim Hatch again. Surprise, surprise.
Hey, Tim.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. So we got so far in here, Kal-El Daly is in here, so and a few other people are watching. So everybody knows the drill. If there's any comments, I'll bring them up on the screen. So great. I decided to put up my lovely banner, as you see across the screen, in our countdown. So it's like 135 shows later, I figure out what to do.
It's there. You have them made, but you're like me, and you forget that little feature's there. And
yeah.
and there's Cal. He's Superman and stuff, but he won't hook me up with his cousin Supergirl because he's a hater. Come on, Cal. We can be family, Cal. Just hook me up with your cousin,
Yeah, it's your cousin. Unless they're kissing cousins, I don't know. Hey, who knows what goes on Krypton, I mean,
so you want to tell us, Cal? But still, come on, Cal. We can be in-laws. We were like, oh hell no! I don't want to see him at Thanksgiving dinner.
Hey, they must be easy to cook their turkeys. Just laser the turkeys. Done. All right.
I would like that when it snows. When it snows, instead of shoveling, have to shovel all that snow. You can just go out there. Taking care of it. That would be easier than sitting out there in the cold with a shovel. I hate the sneezing and stuff. I hate the snow. My cousins would drive by and they get such a kick out of it because I really do hate the snow. They drive by and stop and roll down the window to hear me. Mother effer, I hate it. And they're just laughing up the whole time. It's like, oh, you think this is so funny? I hate snow.
Yeah. A few years back, I flipped in the snow in my car. Yeah, that's not fun. I hate snow.
Yeah.
Snow blows.
We have a but a stop sign here. And because the streets used to be wider, but before they kind of made them, before they redid the streets and stuff and had a sidewalk, it was right there in the corner. Every winter, you would hear a car hit it. And it happened so much because you used to get up and go, oh my God, somebody hit it. Till you got to the point where you could be sitting and you just hear thud. Just ignore it because it was like so. And also at the same time, that pole, you could not straighten that. It was like the only way they could do it was basically when they were redoing the street was to take it out and put a new one in. It got hit that many times.
Dang.
But, by the way, I discovered when you laugh at somebody who's just hit a stop sign, it really annoys the shit out of them when you're standing there laughing at them.
Nice. Not really, but So, what's new with you, Tim? What's been going on? Anything? I've seen a few posts. You got a few things going on. I forget what titles, but
yeah, there's a lot of things going on. It's kind of the same stuff, but they come out in different formats, and definitely busy. Still making a movie or two a month, but I don't know if there's a lot of ebbs and flows, and it seems like it's like 1 week it seems like it's nonstop, then the next week it like dies off for a minute. So it's really hard to tell where everything lays. But the latest stuff, Jurassic Shark 3 is on Tubi.
It is. I need to watch that.
Yeah,
and then another film called Halloween Horror Tales has just now been added to Tubi too.
Okay.
And that's a classic a bit, so that's exciting. Very happy with that. That film is like a little engine that could kind of thing. There's a long backstory to that, but it's great to see it on Tubi now. It's pretty promising for people that any artist that has any dream, just watch that Halloween horror. I mean, it's taken us.
How busy does it get with people trying to get those movies out in time for Halloween? Does it get super busy with them trying to get those movies filmed, edited, and out by then?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, yeah, there's a process to all this stuff. But at least with Halloween Horror Tales, we made that film a little while ago, and it's been on a bunch of different streaming sites for a little while now, at least a couple of years. But for them to finally kind of get onto Tubi, it's like part of the momentum of the people involved with the project, and continuation of many of the films that are on there. It's in similar conditions and stuff, so it's exciting. I mean, I don't like to get into all the nitty gritties because a lot of people involved with the film, and it's been around a while, and it's been, it's seen a ride, but it's just exciting. I'm excited for it because there were many times, especially with that film, that I mean, I literally shot it in my backyard. I mean, it's a film that has a lot of different rhymes and reasons to me. And
it's Halloween Tales.
Halloween Horror Tales.
Okay.
It's been on Prime for a while. It's on this other thing called Free TV Club, and then it's on Tubi now. On the cover poster is Mel Heflin with a pumpkin
and a witch's hat. Yeah, see, I'm
yeah.
The
film. I mean, it's going. I mean, it's seen so many incarnations, and it's just amazing. This past week to see it come to Tubi, I was like, wow, okay. Like, because Tubi is kind of is a staple for this scene, or for at least the scene that I'm a part of for now. It just really shows that, if anything is possible, I mean, really just if and like I was saying a few minutes ago, it's like it's week to week with me, and even as far down the pike as I am a little bit, it just the grind and the ride and making these movies, and it's hard to tell the barometer where you stand with it, because it's as Stephen can tell now too, that it's a lot of hard work.
I'll be doing another one in January. So
right. I got to give it to Tubi. Yeah, I got to give it to Tubi. A year ago, when I told people about it, they were like, "What's that?"
Right.
Now, though, I'm talking to people that go, "Oh, I've been watching this thing called Tubi. They got all these great stuff." It's like within a year, it's like I'm hearing that turnaround, which is absolutely amazing. And some of these people, when they tell you precisely what they watch, it's like horror. I'm like, well, I got a few suggestions for you.
Better than Netflix. Like, there's like so many choices on there. I mean,
somebody was trying to do a Halloween list, and they were looking at Tubi, like what movies they can watch, and they're like, Echo, can you tell us what to watch? And I'm like, let me go look at Tubi, and I'm just like, Exorcist Believer. That's about it. Not Exorcist Believer, but Pope's Exorcist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was literally like the only one I can find, but the rest of the time I'm just looking like, the hell is this? I remember when before they actually had a selection.
Yeah.
Now it's just like,
it's endless.
Like, go somewhere else, like Tubi. This is nothing. Everything's on Tubi, literally.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're starting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different, rhymes and reasons or different portions of the stuff out there now. A lot of these different sites like Freevee and Plex, and they're very similar and pretty good too. There's a few others, of course, like Fawsome and I don't know, there's all these random different ones, but Tubi is the place to be, and definitely. I don't know what's next with some of these things. I don't know. Everything seems to change every 2 minutes. Like everything doesn't matter what it is, but it is pretty hot right now. And then they get a lot of good Hollywood stuff and independent stuff, and definitely an interesting variety.
And independence, I'm finding, particularly for horror, is a lot funner to watch than what Hollywood's putting out. So I've been watching a lot more because you can have more fun where you can sit there and watch, again, Exorcist Believer, or you can watch one of the Killjoy movies. I've been watching the Killjoy movies from Full Moon, or Schockenstein,
right,
something like that. Something that it's fun to watch. It's gonna put a smile on your face more than sitting in a theater watching the newest Exorcist movie, which apparently has upset a bunch of people that say it's terrible.
And then they're going to have a couple more too. It's like, why? That one's
it's going to be a trilogy. So
I mean, it's all fair enough. I didn't think that film or some of the others lately were terrible, or it's all this. That's I hear what you're saying. But there is definitely more venue. There's more stuff out there. There's more options. It's very flexible. But definitely a lot of the indie scene is on Tubi, as we're all seeing every day now. So it's almost a frame of reference there. That's where I kind of am looking at it sort of lately.
It gets a lot of those filmmakers and the actors who do these independent movies. It gets them out there because someone can say, "No, I want something to watch." And again, it's going to be like, okay, it's something like, Schockenstein, or one of the Jurassic Shark, or one of the very Wild Eye, or I by the
whatever.
way, it's there, and they can they're going to find something. Who knows? They might find something. I watched a movie called what was it? The Death to Metal.
That's
okay.
Which was a movie
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was a movie they could not get me to shut up about last year. It was like people randomly talk to me. Well, this is a great movie about this evil killer priest. So you might end up finding something on there that's independent. That's just
you haven't heard of, and read about it, like, oh, let's check this out. There's a lot of good stuff.
But does that get you more recognition by people checking out these movies more? Are you now finding, has that happened to you because of doing all the stuff like Tubi, putting more movies out?
Yeah, I believe so. They've been the most consistent, and I still feel like, Plex is pretty good too. Plex is another one, but it seems like Tubi's become like a household name now, and it's definitely helped. It's kind of interesting to see. Like when you go on the things now, if you're looking for a particular film like my stuff or Mark Polonia or whoever else, that especially if you Google me, you'll come up with a bunch of these things, and they may not have everything, but they definitely have like a good chunk of your work. I mean, they have a page devoted to, our films and whatnot. And so, I mean, it's almost like a little library.
Yeah, just look up sharks on Tubi, and you're gonna find out an idea of how many.
That's true.
But I did almost Sharkness month. I was doing all these shark movies. I'm sitting there saying, who directed it? Mark Polonius. Next one, Mark Polonius. Mark Polonius. Like, is that all he does? Shark movies?
No, but it's he has a good knack for it. A lot of it's due to being close to many resources and stuff, and that helps. It's easy to shoot, but no, he definitely does all types of wonders.
And I've been checking out because we have a movie that has an anniversary this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
40. I know the anniversary because I was born 23 days before it came out. So it's like, shit, that movie's 45. Like, wow, it's mind blowing. And then I realized, wait a minute. Oh, God damn it. I'm that old.
Well, hey, remember that newscaster that messed up and was interviewing Jamie Lee Curtis? And he goes, so do people still come up in the hockey mask? And she just looks at him like, I can't believe he did that. I'm like, wow, you don't even know who you're interviewing. That must have been like the most embarrassing moment. And
you want embarrassing. And I was telling somebody about this today. Yeah, Wes, I'm the ISO, did a stream last night, and I started giving people shit last night because they go, he does trivia. How did Stripe die in the first Gremlins movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm sitting there, and the other was like, water fountain, water fountain, water fountain. I was like,
the Barbie car? Wasn't the Barbie?
Yeah, he grabs the blinds and opens it up, and everyone's like, water fountain, water fountain. And I'm the co-host, and I'm just sitting there.
Water fountain.
It's like, come on, guys.
That's how they multiply.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let them live it down.
I would have bite my tongue and like, what are you talking about? I haven't watched that in a while though. I should watch that again this month sometime. Gremlins classic both.
Yeah, it is a treat, and sometimes it almost kind of blurs into Christmas too.
Yeah,
isn't it like a crossover?
But it's got a comparison to Jaws though.
Crazy.
Because after Jaws, it's got a comparison to Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
After Jaws came out, you had what they call them, the clones.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to Gremlins? What was like Hobgoblin and Ghoulies and just clones.
Critters.
Of the ones that we saw from major studios. God knows how many were independent that we have.
Right.
Still sitting somewhere is waiting to see the light of day. Tubi. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
True. So also just to throw it out there. Yeah, maybe I'll see. I'll have to put a word in for you.
See, that's another one of those movies that was fun to watch. The scene where the lady's like going through the garbage and they have the fight. What was it, a broom or something? And it rips her arm off.
Yeah.
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 And I probably asked this question already. You in drag playing that girl. The whole time I'm sitting there watching going, no.
Well, that was a fun day. We got through that pretty smooth.
When you were approached to that, what was your reaction? Can you do this other character?
Oh, it was. We were just trying to. We were trying to utilize some of the stuff we had there to kind of make it silly or to I don't know, kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, but it worked out. It was a funny, cute, quick scene. A lot of that movie is very tongue-in-cheek and silly and just in and out stuff. And yeah, a lot of people enjoy that movie. It's it's definitely standing the test of time of recent times too. I'm very surprised. It was a pleasure to make, but I had I didn't expect it to find so many audience members and to enjoy and quote it and talk about it and want maybe a sequel, but we'll see. There's a lot of time to tell on that.
See, there was this other movie called Suburban Sasquatch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you do a sequel to Hell Squatch, don't get the person who did the costume in that one to do the Sasquatch costume.
Okay.
Because for Suburban Sasquatch, they decided the costume needed nipples.
Okay.
Very pronounced.
Is this like Batman?
Yeah, right.
No, Batman ain't got shit. These are very pronounced. So whenever it comes on the screen, like, oh, okay, here's a set.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that to get the idea, but I'm sure we won't fumble into that. But who knows? We never know with stuff like that. Is what it is. But yeah, maybe. I mean, there's always potentials for spin-offs and different things with the House Squatch thing. So I don't know what's next with at least that film and that idea. But I'm sure there'll be a few more in some capacity soon.
A shared universe would be something interesting.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We although just don't do what Asylum did. I finally sat down and started watching that the 25th anniversary movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like an Asylum movie. It's just more like, okay, wait a minute. CGI tells you it's an Asylum movie.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it doesn't feel like an Asylum movie to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A Mark Polonius universe.
Yeah, we're toying with a lot of that. I'll probably see some of that in the next few years.
Maybe we could do Baby Squatch. Like have a little.
It's possible. Yeah, we've been toying with some ideas. So. Who knows? But
don't they have a little bit of one? Hasn't Jeff Kuykendall appeared in some of the movies as like that priest and more than one? So,
yeah,
there is. Yeah. So then there is a shared universe there.
Yeah. Yep.
The Amityville Exorcism, Amityville in Space,
Noah Shark.
Yeah, I'll probably be another one at some point. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that people like their Father Benna, so I'm sure there'll be at least one more or two more at some point soon.
Yeah, we just had,
mm-hmm.
You had you had Exorcist Believer, the Pope's Exorcist. Someone else was putting one out. Was it Asylum or somebody else was putting an Exorcist movie out?
Well, there's actually a movie I saw on an app called The Exorcist, and it came out this year. It's just Exorcist, but it has nothing to do with
Right. I think I did see that. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
You can do an Exorcist clone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
You just gotta see if you can get your head to turn around and spit out soup.
Okay. Yeah. Mark's done a great job with a few of those concepts to this point. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to hype that up too. That's also
how many of these different monsters in the movies have you had to fight? Can we know
Oh, me so far?
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I was kidding about that recently, and a bunch of things. Other films that I battle crazy nuns and monster babies and sharks, killer sharks, crazy sharks, Sarkensteins, Sasquatches of different types. What else? Dracula, Sharkulas,
killers themselves.
Wow.
Kids in costumes, scarecrows. What else? I'm trying to think what else. Killer plants in horror tales. There's killer plants.
Mm-hmm. I have a little experience
vampires,
myself.
zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're just a monster hunter, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Do a Van Helsing movie.
Yeah. We're in talks of something like that at some point. Back to a little while ago, we were kind of touching base with the whole Halloween topic and gist and all that, but also, I mean, obviously, we have a bunch of those things, but Halloween Night is a film of Mark's. I'm pretty sure it's on. I think it was on Plex or Freevee or one of them things. But Halloween Night is definitely out there, and it's worth a look. Came out at one point. It was on probably about 15 years ago.
I think at one point it was on Prime, but I'll have to check free.
Yeah. Let me double check on all that real quick too. But it's definitely out, and it's definitely worth looking at. And
that's been one I've been wanting to check out. I just got to track it down.
Yeah. Let me see.
So I think there's one from 2006, but that's not March.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah. Just trying to see where we can find it. I mean, I just saw it recently. Let's see. Let's see. Halloween. It's a pretty good one. Let's see.
2009. It's one word.
Yeah.
It looks like there's no. Yeah, the N for night and ween are intertwined.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, blurred together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no longer available in my area. It's no longer available to watch on Amazon.
Really? Yeah. Well, I think it's on. What was I just looking at? Not free. Man. Maybe Fawsome. It's a site called Fawsome.
Yeah.
Or
I also know, I don't know if it's on that, but there's like these other horror apps and stuff that have a bunch of movies on there. Like if you just search like horror, you can find different apps and stuff, and then they have the Fawsome. And I don't know if there was a Fawsome horror or
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the scariest
Halloween night. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool though. Blending the word Halloween and night as one word. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Is that the one where there's a character named Harold in it? Halloween night, or am I thinking something else?
Let me see. Yes, it is. It is. Danielle is in it. Ken Van Zant.
Yeah, you can buy it maybe on Amazon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can get it that way, but it's definitely available to stream. I'm pretty sure
it's you can
Freevee or Plex or one of them has it.
Because otherwise it's
I didn't see it on Tubi. I don't think it might be on Tubi, but I'm not sure. There's so much on there.
It's not on Tubi because I think I've looked on that. Unless they recently threw it on, but
no. But I did see it on something in the last day or so. So
I'll just have to search it later when I get off. But yeah,
hey, $2.99 is not that bad. So
yeah.
So what else is cooking? There's a movie, Bloody Nun, that came out. Will Colazzo and Julianne Prescott produced it. It's on Will's Vimeo at the moment. It's worth a look. I have a pretty interesting role in it, so it's definitely a fun, fast-paced. It's similar elements to some of the stuff that's out in Hollywood, but it stands its own, and it's definitely quick and funny, and there's some standout moments and some familiar faces. So I definitely, recommend for this time of the year to check that out too.
Yep. And I know Amityville Turkey Day should be out sometime next month. Is there a set date for it yet or not yet?
No, I haven't heard a set date yet, but it's getting close.
Okay.
I believe it should be around those time frames to some condition, but I don't want to quote anything that I don't know.
Yeah. I just didn't
know. But definitely soon. It's
Yeah.
definitely coming out, and definitely soon. And that'll be a head turner. So I hope it is in a few weeks. I'm really hoping that, but if it ain't, it ain't.
Hey, whatever.
It happens. Sometimes things take a minute, but that's going to be a delightful film when that one comes out.
Wes is right. I probably will check out Bloody Nun because it's a running joke I have about nuns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always talking about naughty nuns, me and naughty nuns.
And there's a ton of them out. I thought maybe we were the only ones that were gonna doing that.
I watched.
There's on Tubi. Yeah. There's like I saw a bunch of different
nun. If you type in nun,
different type of nun types, huh?
If you if you type in nun, it'll.
I watched one called Deadly Confession, which had a nun on the cover. I thought, oh, this would be good. It had a scene that defies logic. Okay, guy is chasing this car. He points a shotgun at his windshield.
Okay.
Pulls the trigger. Logic says they should do something with the window, right?
Yep.
Window stays intact and the car blows up.
It's a magic bullet that just goes through the glass.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, maybe they couldn't do the effect with the glass, but of course I'm stuck on that doesn't. Science dictates that goes different.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, remember Velocipaster? Like when the car blows up, they just say the effect. They just say like it says car blown up or green screen effect. Like they don't do the explosion. They just do. They just like inserted like where the car blows up. You just hear it. He's like no, and then it shows it just saying that the scene was edited here, and that's what happened. I mean, they like throw it in as a joke. It's pretty funny.
They could always do what Trumbo used to do because he's that famous car flipping scene.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was first featured in, I want to say, Toxic Avenger.
Okay.
And for years and years, they would use, like, if they needed a car to flipping scene, they would insert that scene. So when you get to the 90s and you see these people in the background dressed 80s style.
Oh, it's the same flipping, car.
And I didn't realize until they were talking about that, so I went back and watched some of these other trauma movies. I'm just like, how did I not notice that?
Yeah.
Especially in the background, you can see the different, like, the fashion style of the 80s versus the 90s. You're just like, how did I not notice that guy dressed like in 80s shorts and the little tank top thing? How did I not notice that?
It just goes by so fast. You don't even realize, when you're in the moment watching the movie, it's like, oh, yeah.
I don't know if they use that scene anymore. Hopefully they still do, because that would be just a great thing for fans to be like, haha, look, that scene.
It's just like how many times, well, I know he doesn't have the car anymore, but how many times can you spot the Kia? It's like that, except flipping cars.
Yeah, it may still pop up a few more times. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
I got to go back and rewatch Evil Dead Rising.
Okay.
He would always put that car in.
Yeah.
Even the ones he wasn't involved in, like the remake, that car, which was also in the Spider-Man movies, is sitting there near the cabin in the remake, just sitting there. So now I gotta go back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to check that out too. Right.
I gotta go back and watch Evil Dead Rise and see if that car is in there. Because if it's not, then it's always in his movies.
I think was it in the? I don't know if it was in the beginning or not, because remember in the beginning of Evil Dead Rise, there was the scene like at the lake or whatever before the building.
In the parking garage.
Yeah,
just, parking garage, maybe.
That too.
Yeah.
Likely in that. But there was so much going on.
It's like, we saw directors would do that. Writers like Stephen King appears in his movies. The late Stan Lee would just be there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was always exciting when they would do the Marvel movies. You'd be like, okay, how are we going to see him this time? And then, sadly, not going to see it anymore, but
he was only 100 and something, I think, right? Or whatever. I forget how old he was, but yeah. What was funny, I forget which convention it was, but someone asked him, I don't know what came, I don't know if they were joking or whatever. They were saying, what keeps you alive or going doing this? And he goes, greed. Like as a joke.
I think I saw that.
They had some old man, I think he turned over. It's like this happened years ago. I remember reading about it. He turned like over 100 years old, and they go, what's your secret to long, living so long? Boom, cigarettes and wild women. Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Whatever works, I guess. I don't know.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Everybody's got different thingies, but yeah, that'll do it.
What else? You see any other good movies on Tubi lately, Tim? While you were looking through anything?
Well, no, just like I was saying, there's like a multitude of, again, many nun movies, shark movies, all that kind of stuff, and a lot of different categories of different things that some of it overlap.
I think I've been seeing the Hatchet movies.
Yeah,
they're on there.
Because I'd seen Crowley, and then I started seeing like Hatchet 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, great series if you're the fan of the old slashers and like lots of blood and humor.
Yep. You know, he actually. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Favorite line from one of those movies. I can't remember if it was from the second or the third one. He's the one guy's freaking out, talking. One of the cops, and he's talking to his captain. He's like, "There are testicles in that tree over there."
That was the third one. Yeah.
He's screaming about testicles. I'm like, oh, I love that line.
Yeah, Adam was actually 9 years old when he thought of that character before he made the movie. He like made up the story of Victor Crowley at this camp, and he freaked kids out because there was like this shack or something, and so so it's like, dang, that's a that many years later he finally made it a movie. But it's like, gee, the 9-year-old thought of that. But yeah,
there was a girl who wasn't even 13 years old. She made a movie. I think it was about cave women or something, a monster movie. And I can't remember her name on the movie, but they were making this big deal. This girl was making an independent film, and it was going to get distributed. I think by Trauma.
Okay.
But I can't remember the movie or her name. I want to remember because I want to see it. By now, she's in her 20s, probably pushing 30, but she wasn't even a teenager at the time. And I wish I could remember her name on the movie because I think it'd be interesting to see. Because, a preteen being able to make a movie that's going to get distributed, which is, wow, that's awesome.
Probably have to Google that and just find her name. Just be like, female director or young teen director or something, or see what comes up. But that does sound interesting. 13 years old making a movie. Shoot.
I mean, most kids, if they're making movies, they'll do it like, at home. We got a camera, we can do it. Not you're gonna have a budget to make a movie. You're gonna have cast, and you're gonna have, I mean, Promo's not a major, studio. In terms of independence, they probably are, and they're gonna be distributing it.
Well, I mean, what was Mark? Mark was 17, right, when Spider Farm came out, I believe. So I'm a little bit older, but still a teenager when his first movie. So I mean, it's possible. I mean,
and speaking of Mark, next month they are re-releasing a movie called Scream Queens with Lorena Quigley.
Okay.
And I'm looking at all the extras. It goes interview with editor Mark Polonia.
Okay. Yeah.
But when you look at his IMDb, you look at the director Brad Skies or something, whatever his name is, I can't remember. But you look at the IMDb's, it doesn't list the movie. It was
really?
It was made back in the 90s, and I pre-ordered it.
Sounds familiar though.
Yeah, but you mean Dark Infinity? You talking about?
It's Scream Queens.
No, I mean who directed it? I think isn't that that's his other name, Dark Infinity, Dustin Ferguson, because he does the documentaries.
Okay. Well, no, this is a slasher movie with Lorena Quigley.
Oh, it's a movie. It's not a documentary. Oh, okay.
Okay.
It lists in the extras.
It does sound familiar. Let me look too.
Because I found it. It's gonna be one of Wild Eye's. It has that visual vintage series.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those. It comes out November 28th.
Okay.
Because I know it showed her on the with a chainsaw on the cover or something. I remember seeing it.
It says commentary was writer-director Brad Skies.
Oh, okay.
And then it says, editor Mark Polonia interview.
Okay. Yeah.
That's, other than Lorena Quigley, because I'm a Quigley fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I got
I see it now.
When I saw that editor Mark Polonia interview, I'm like, okay, all right. That's another reason to go ahead and pre-order this movie. Plus, Amazon had a sell on it at the time. And they have the pre-order price guarantee. So don't stiff me out, Amazon, unless it's cheaper.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah, I see that. Yep. That looks pretty good.
And Visual Vengeance is an awesome series. I mean, you get a lot of these independent, shot on pretty much home video, low quality, super low budget, but fun movies to watch. Suburban Sasquatch. The one's name I have trouble saying because I have to read it. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like a Japanese Evil Dead. They call it, or it's like
okay.
Dead of.
It's less than an hour long, and it's a love letter to it.
Yeah, I got that in my collection.
Yeah, I recently reviewed a fan film. It's called Valentine Bluff. It's a sequel to My Bloody Valentine. What are your thoughts on fan films, and have you been approached about working on a fan film that's linked to like something like My Bloody
franchise?
Valentine? Yeah.
I think it's a great idea if it's done properly or done with respect and definitely with the right ingredients. I may have been approached a time or two regarding something like that, but I have yet to partake in one just yet, but I wouldn't be opposed to it by far. But yeah, those are always fun. They're always good. And it definitely draws in a good crowd and an attention because of that. And there's a ton of them out and these days. And David Perry, that Stephen too, he was in a Scream one that did very well. It was very well put together and very, very
hello. Surprise. Hello. Didn't know if you were coming in or not, but hello.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Tim.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome,
welcome. I mean, they're fun to watch, but like this one, Valentine Bluff basically is like the sequel. Like 40 years later, Valentine Bluff's going to start be doing Valentine's again, but they got a crooked mayor, Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, okay.
He plays like the evil, like, you're a bunch of assholes, screw off type guy, like really bad joke. It's like, damn, that's not the Lloyd I seen on all this other stuff. But it's one of those ones where you hear his voice at the beginning when they do the voiceover, because they're like, it's like supposed to be an interview of his, and they're like, I know that voice.
Yep. So, how about you, Greta? We were just talking about fan films a minute ago. Have you ever been approached to do a fan film, and what are your thoughts on them?
I don't think I have. I've seen some pretty decent ones. I know, like with this month having Friday the 13th, I've seen some pretty good fan films for that.
Yeah, they just recently did the Never Hike Alone 2. I know they had released. I haven't watched it yet, but that's up on YouTube.
Yeah, there was one about Victims No More. I think that was the subtitle. That one was really good.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen that one. But
well, they did one that's a sequel to Part 7, where they brought back some of those cast. The girl with the psychic powers, her boyfriend, they're drilling them on what happened. And it has a great scene, a dream scene for fans, because they have this character who's like Carrie, and Jason shows up. He's like, let me summon somebody to fight Jason, and boom, it's Michael Myers, and it's like, and they're just standing there looking at each other at first, like, you'll give me that silent treatment, and then they start fighting. It's like, damn, it never crossed my mind, Jason versus Michael.
Yeah, what was that? What was that called? It sounds familiar.
I wish I could remember the name. Randomly, it's like if you look up probably fan films for Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
you're gonna.
I think I know, but I just wasn't sure if you knew them off the top of your.
Something Blood and something Rose. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but I forget the order of what it is. There's
That sounds pretty good.
Rose and Blood, or Blood and I don't know, but it's something like that. I know the one you're talking about. And then there's the one, the Nightmare on Elm Street one with Miko, and he's grown up, and I think it's Dylan's Nightmare. Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but I heard that's
and that's a newer one too.
Yeah,
it came out just in the last couple
just
months?
This year. Yeah, it hasn't been out long, so I know that's on YouTube
because they were talking about it and stuff, and it was being promoted before it, came out. And I just watched that movie, Happy Phantom Fun World or whatever. And I'm watching it, and the first one you see is Ari Lehman, the original Jason, who's still going after all these years.
Yep.
And he has a band, too.
First Jason. Yep. It's all like Friday the 13th songs. It's fun. Yeah, I've seen him perform live. It's fun. He's got some good songs.
Yeah. All the music videos, Jason's walking around, stalking people.
Yeah. So did you, Greta? Did you do your third round of Murder Size with your mom?
Yes, I have.
So,
and I know you were asking about the scene yesterday about when the cameraman dies, but it actually happens so fast you can barely see what she grabs to stab him. But it might very well be like a vacuum,
yeah,
vacuum
didn't it look?
It happens so fast you don't really see.
Yeah. But I think I saw a vacuum in the background. It looked like the tip of the vacuum, the thin one. That's what it looked like.
You used a vacuum? Damn.
You didn't watch Murder Size yet, Echo?
I've been doing the 31 days, and I've been literally like, I have this list of, I got like 24 reviews done so far. I got to find, what was it, like 7 more. And I have this long list of possibilities. And it's on there.
That should be at the top of the possibilities.
What I'm doing is I start to watch the movie, and like I started watching Death Rink, which is a roller skating one.
Oh yeah.
And then I realized I can't review because I wasn't feeling it. Mm-hmm. So then I go to the next one, Inhuman Witch, the Kill Sloppy Joe movie, and just went, God, I can't tell any jokes. This movie tells its own jokes. So this is like literally like, so it's on there. It's just going through it.
It's a fun one. I really enjoy it. I'll probably watch it a third time later. It's fun.
Third time? Do you do any of the exercises with them?
Well, hey, Greta just watched it 3 times, so why not? I can't let her take the lead. I got to watch it 2 more times now.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I said it to my mom, but she hadn't watched it yet, so it would have made no sense to her if what we're talking about, and she wanted to watch it. I'm like, okay, I guess it'll be third time. 3 times a charm.
Okay? I started to watch it, and it looks like it takes place in the 80s with some of those outfits.
Yeah.
There's no way they still dress like that for exercise.
No, it's like
plus all the Ronald Reagan name drops that Phoebe does. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Ronald Reagan is supposed to be the president at the time, so it must. Although, like in the opening scene, I love the opening scene that kind of has like a giallo, like with the lighting, but and like there's like some fog in the gym, but you can see that there's flat screens in the gym. But it's like I'm ignoring that, and just pretending that this is the '80s.
Yeah,
it's up, but those old outfits you used to see the old, random shows that they would do exercises and stuff. Mm-hmm. The leotards, the headbands, sweatbands.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen anyone wear one of those sweatbands in years. Mm-hmm. Well, take it back. I wore one a few years ago as a joke, but because no one wears those anymore because I think they decided they look ridiculous.
Yeah, and there was a Walkman too in the very beginning. The woman who's working out, she has a Walkman strapped to her stomach. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely an '80s feel.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm really gonna have to watch it more because I'm a fan of '80s horrors, and I watched She Comes from the Woods, and it had that kind of old '80s Friday the 13th feel, which helped make it enjoyable. So now I'm gonna really have to watch that movie to see if it's got that feel.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely does. That's the whole point of it, pretty much. Yeah.
But that's going to be a bit hard to catch because you got to have the appearance, not to mention also the bit of the lingo of the 80s. Because they're not going to sit there and be like, hey, I'm going to go watch Markiplier or Sweetie Pie. They're not going to talk about that. They're going to talk about the 80s. That would be Richard Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Richard Simmons and stuff.
Don't you feel like a pony when you sweat? Like, what? Yeah, check it out. So,
definitely.
Besides Murder Size, Greta, any other good movies you've seen recently?
I watched it again, but we watched is it Tales of Halloween? It's an anthology that has like 10 shorts in it. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam Green, I know, does a segment on that one. So it's a bunch of different directors. That came out, I think, a couple of years ago, either 2 or 3. But that's one that I watched. I got that collection.
Yeah, that and Trick or Treat are pretty good Halloween anthologies.
Yes,
I'm famous for that movie Trick or Treat. There's another movie that came out in the '80s
called Trick or Treat. Yeah,
Ozzy Osbourne's in it. Gene Simmons in it. I will always be more of a fan of that. One with Sam in it.
They're both good. I like them both.
Yeah, I did see that other one on Tubi. I think I added that to my watch list, but I haven't gotten around to seeing that.
It's one of those ones. It's got the old heavy metal. It's more of glam metal, which is not metal's like hard, but glam metal had more of a pop sound to it. Mm-hmm. So it's got a killer. If it's going to be a killer heavy metal guy, it's got to be one from glam metal.
Yeah,
the glam metal and glam rockers, the men from that music, wore more makeup than any woman, and more hairspray than any woman. Just look at the pictures of Motley Crue from that time. You ever going, are those women?
What movie they did that? Like they made fun of like the A's band. And they're like, "Oh, she's beautiful," and there's like, "It's a guy." I can't remember what movie it was.
Maybe Wayne's World, maybe. There's kind of some stuff like that.
It sounds like something like that. Yeah. So, or when they were trying to set their own concert. I like the second one. He's a dream. Is like follow the naked Indian. When they went to sign the not the contract. When you need a permit, there we go. Big word, permit. And he was like, "So you want to put on a concert? Are you kidding? I give my right." And the guy had a messed up eye. He kept making the eye jokes. And he goes, and he's looking at me. He's like, "Just sign here. All right, I'll cross my T's and dot my lowercase I or lowercase J's." I think wasn't who was in that what singer was in Wayne's World too?
Alice Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah, Feed My Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And they go to talk to Alice Cooper, and he starts hitting them. He doesn't start talking like a rocker. He's like acting like a school teacher, like
a history.
Yeah, and they're just like damn.
It's like
which itself is funny when you think about it. You think you get a rocker, like, yeah, man, rock and roll, and all of a sudden it's like, well, the
it was like a whole history lesson. He's like, actually in the 18 or whatever it was, that old speech that he gave.
You wouldn't expect that from a rock, especially Alice Cooper.
So yeah, I watched Totally Killer. That was funny. I don't know if you've seen that yet or not.
That's on the list. Because I watched the trailer, and it was she is a killer or something. She ends up in the past or something.
It almost reminds me of Final Girls a little bit. She goes up. Her friend's working on a time machine that her mom back in the 80s was working on, and there's also a killer, and her mom gets killed, and as she's running from the killer, she ends up in the time machine back to the 80s, and so she's trying to prevent the killings back in the past plus future and it's all intertwined. And so like her friend's mom is helping her in the past while her daughter's in the future, her friend. And it's confusing. Yeah. It's just the whole Back to the Future type deal with a killer.
Okay.
It's funny when she sees her, she starts to call her mom. She's like, "Mom," and she's looking at her, "Mamacita." She's like, "Oh," so she ends up cussing her in Spanish, and she's like, "Rude." So it's definitely worth checking out. What other movies were good that I watched? I didn't check out the new episode yet, but I've watched the new Goosebumps and Chucky that's out, catching up.
Oh yeah. So. How are they?
Though it's good. They actually, I'm surprised it's on Disney Plus because like it has references, of course, for people who grew up with Goosebumps, and then there's like some more adult themes in it and everything. So it's kind of meant for like the people in the 90s. It's not like a Y7 rating, Okay. Justin Long.
I thought you said Chucky was on Disney. I was like, what?
Hey, I've been watching Disney now.
Yes, Chucky's on Disney too.
Hey, yeah,
no, that's Chucky, on Peacock.
Thing is, if Chucky was on Disney, that would mean that Tiffany's a Disney queen, a princess. That'd be something.
It's a Disney princess.
The new Disney princess, Tiffany. I mean, already. I mean, look, Black Widow is a Disney princess technically now because they own them.
Right, that's right. Right.
Well, so is the xenomorph on Alien.
So it's God, that's right.
Yep.
That's true.
So
okay, when they did that first season, at the same time they had the one terrible season they did of Day of the Dead. and it bombed.
Oh, I didn't watch that, but wasn't that on the Sci-Fi Channel? I think
it was Sci-Fi USA. It was like Chucky, and it came out at the same time, and it's a terrible show, and it left me going, why do you got to pick on David Dead? Stop picking on that movie. Stop. What did that movie do to people that they just gotta just pick at it? What did it do?
I don't know. It's like, why do they make stuff that it's either lasts a season? I hate that because they either make something that's really stupid, or else if it's a good show, they cancel it anyway. It's like, why? I hate.
You get a bad show that lasted more than 2 episodes, like Great American Hero.
All right. Well, that's a classic. I don't think it stayed forever, but
no, like I watched the first 2 episodes. My brother, as a kid, was a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
Next time I see him, I gotta ask him, "What was wrong with you? Why did you like that show? What was wrong? Did our parents drop you on your head or something?"
What was funny, I forget which convention it was, but William Catt was there, and he's going down the hallway, running like the barricade. He's going and giving people high five and stuff. He's a cool guy.
Oh, really? Yeah, he seems.
Troy Froman just stopped by. Hello. So he was on last week.
Hey,
welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Do they have the House movies on Tubi? Because those are actually pretty fun movies.
Hello. I guess you had some trouble there.
Yeah,
particularly the second one. I love the second one.
Yeah, I'll look and see. I'll let you guys know on those. Got to be somewhere. I thought they were on like Netflix or Tubi or something.
Which one? You said House? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, House. But one of them has the Japanese House, which I've only seen the trailers for, and that looks pretty.
I think that's on Shudder. If it's still there on Shudder, I'm not sure. But because I think doesn't it have like a weird orange cat or something on the cover or whatever, or monster cat or
yeah.
Whatever it is.
And I've only seen the trailers, and what I've seen from the trailers is, whoa! I tend to forget that Japan, with some of its horror, is out there. You see, like Grudge, like what was it, Ringu, and whatever the Grudge is in Japanese, and then you see Tokyo Gore Police, Machine Girl, House.
Tokyo Gore Police is a fun one. I like that one.
Stuff that's really going to have you with your jaw dropping the ground going, how much drugs did they take just to do a movie where a girl lets herself be turned into a living chair?
What was it? I'm sure you've seen the ABCs of Death. Have you watched those?
How many of them are there? Is there 2 of those?
There's 2 of them, and then there's like another one that they made like a fan base one. ABCs of Death. It's either 1.5 or 2.5 or 2 something like that, and that's like where they had like just had, I don't know if it was a contest or if they had different directors. They had different people. Well, I mean, they're all different directors, but they did like a film festival of different people where they just ones that didn't make it into the movie or new ones, and then they had new letters.
I don't hear people talk about that one much. I think I'm more likely to hear people talk about the VHS movies, than the ABCs of Death. So this is like, because they just had not that long ago a new one come out.
Yeah, 85. Good year.
There is like 84, 85 when you.
It's 85. I know.
When I was like when I was like doing like working on a review for a movie, and I was look up the years, and it was like 84, 85. There seemed to be a big burst of horror movies.
Oh, yeah, you're talking
more so than the other years in the 80s. That it's just like it was like 84, 85, and it's just like horror. It's like, is that everyone did these years? No sci-fi, no action, no romance, horror. Because that was something too that the video stores really, I think, helped horror back in the 80s. Because then you had all these movies that were lost because you couldn't see anymore. Now they're on VHS. We're seeing it like with stuff like Tubi now too. Movies you couldn't see anymore, movies you couldn't hear about, you never heard about, unless you just read them in a magazine, or popping up in video stores. So it's almost like Tubi's all modern video store. If you think about it, it's like that same thing. Movies that were lost, movies you've only heard about or you never heard about, all there.
Right. Yeah, I miss going into like Blockbuster, and there used to be this one video store, Video Plus, and I used to get Monster Squad all the time. I would rent that one there.
Good pick.
I mean, it's always fun going to the horror section, and it's like now it's no more, unfortunately. But
well, we got one in all town. There's still a few Ma and Pa ones out there.
Yeah,
I showed someone the picture of the one in my town, and they go, "That's fake. You photoshopped that."
Yeah,
they're still out there. Just you don't.
Yeah, they're around in some spots. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to go. I forget where it's located, but there's still one Blockbuster left. It has.
That's a few hours south of me.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm in Central Washington.
Okay.
A few hours from the border, and that's Bend, Oregon. I want to say, which is a few hours also from the border. I'm not sure. So it's less than a day from me.
Okay.
And some people have known about like you should really go.
But yeah, it would be funny if you go and if you still have your Blockbuster card, but then you go check something out and be like, I'm sorry, you never returned.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
well, okay. We used to call them ball busters because we would go to one and they liked the fines. So we went there one time. I had a friend had a late fine. The guys were like, "Oh, you got fines! You got fines! Let me see if you got any more." No, you don't. And I'm just standing behind my friend like, is he screwing with us? Please tell me he's screwing with us. No one gets excited over late fees. But that led to the nickname of Ball Buster because
I'm going to head out, guys. Yeah. It was nice to see everyone. Have a nice night, and I'm sure I'll see you all on a set somewhere soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Well, here's a question for you two. We're in the Halloween season. What is your favorite Halloween costume you ever dress up as? So I'm going with the jester, but what about you two?
Let's see. I dressed
for
up
me.
as
It's gotta be a vampire. I definitely love vampires.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Let's see. Tubi Rocks. Hey, ask him to get me in
roulette.
What is it? I don't know what that is. What's that, Troy? Roulette? I mean, I know what. Is that a movie that's on there, or what were you asking there?
Something he's going to be working on.
So, but yeah, I was a vampire, and I guess you too, Greta. You started to say vampire.
I never liked it because I would always get. They used to have those cheap plastic fangs, and there was one piece. You try to talk, and you're kind of like, "Oh, give me candy, trick or treat." You couldn't talk to them. So
yeah, I had I can't remember the brand, but I have the ones where they're individual ones, and you have to use the adhesive just for the single ones.
There was a girl who had to go to the hospital to get them removed because she used, that glue for fake nails.
Oh, like for the acrylic nails.
She used them for the fangs.
Oh, okay.
So she had to go get that taken care of, and you don't want to laugh because it's going to play hell for her. Get them out, but part of you is just like, let me go over here where no one can see me and laugh. It's like the Gorilla Glue girl.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. I got them at a True Blood convention where they did like a mold of the teeth, and it actually fits your tooth to go on over, so you don't even have to like put adhesive on. It just slides over your tooth, and then it just stays there until you pull it off. But I have
like
no
a
idea
veneer. I've always wanted to get a custom one. I know for Tales of Dracula, we almost had custom ones. I would have loved to have gotten like a whole custom veneer that could just like pop in and out.
Yeah, so I'm so mad I don't know where they are, if they're still in a container somewhere.
I've heard about people, doing that, and somebody had it set up where they would send you the kit to make the mold, and then you would send it to them, and they would make it. And some people were saying like the stuff doesn't taste that bad when you put it in your mouth, which is good because you don't want to sit there and make a mold and have it taste, terrible. You want it to be decent tasting, so you're not sitting there for having it set and stuff and going oh, this is nasty.
But what's wild is like with those type of custom fangs, like you don't realize like how many different types of fangs there are. Because I've like seen similar companies. It's like there's Interview with the Vampire type fangs. There's like the Lost Boys type fangs. There's werewolf fangs. Like there's so many. Like if it's like incisors or the actual canines, there's like different styles. Or sometimes they're both.
Oh,
just,
you mean like the Nosferatu ones where it's just
the two front teeth. Yeah.
I think
so there's so many different types of fangs to choose from.
I don't know if they did make those. I think I've seen them where they actually have the ones too, where if you like flick your tongue, then they'll flick down too and everything too. And,
like in True Blood, because there's kind of pops down, almost like Snake. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I know at Walmart, at least one of the ones here, they used to have this by the the eyeglasses. They had the picture of what kind of contact lenses did you have. You go, okay, normal, red, like some kind of like, mutant, X's and all these shapes. You don't see that anymore because that'd be, get your fangs, get your contact lenses.
Yep. Yeah, they also, even at different conventions, you can get different color contacts, and I've never gotten any, and I don't know if how that would be putting that in. I've never worn any, so I don't know how I would be able to handle it or not. Like I see people in it, and I'm like, I know you can pop them in and stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know if my eyes can handle that or not. I'll have to try it.
I'm the same too.
I've worn the the special effects contacts. I wear prescription ones, but right now the prescriptions aren't that strong. So when I've worn I've worn white ones, like to be a vampire, and so of course I'm not seeing that great since they're not prescription. But then I had like a white halo around everything, so like you kind of have a halo of whatever color it is. Like I was also in a werewolf movie where I had a gold. So like I was just wearing one contact. One of my eyes was gold, so I was like kind of like I had this like yellow aura, kind of haze around that eye. So it's kind of an inconvenience, especially if you are wearing a prescription one, and then you have like the haze. They have that color haze around your peripheral vision. It does affect your peripheral vision a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the original Evil Dead, or was it they were like talking about how it was painful to have them in the contact that they had. One of them, they were like, in the 80s,
like in the 80s prior, like they weren't the soft ones. I think they were the hard ones. And I remember even like Christopher Lee, like in the Dracula movies, like they're absolutely painful to have these specialty ones because it's like plastic, like having a hard plastic in your eye. And I think Cheech in Dusk Till Dawn, like it was absolutely. I remember hearing it was actually torturous for him, like when he was a vampire, like having those special contacts in. But I guess the technology's come quite a ways because now they're soft ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be a pain in the butt. Trying to do a scene and the whole time your eyes is that pain. Focus on the lines, focus on the scene, but inside you're just like,
yeah, it's painful, and especially if you can't see and you're moving. Because like I remember, like Christopher Lee, like he has to move while he's wearing these contacts, and he cannot see where he's going. So it must be stressful, having to know where you're going, know what what you have to say and everything.
Yeah,
there was some movie, I forget what it was, where the guy couldn't see, and like they had to have somebody direct him onto the set, guide him, so that he could be where he was supposed to be.
I'm sure they've done that for a few things, but I don't know offhand.
Yeah, I think in one of the Friday the 13th ones, the girl, when she gets her eyes gouged out with the shears for the special effects, she was completely, blinded with the prosthetics were completely over her eyes, and she was also undressed, so she felt extra vulnerable being led around, unclothed and having all these prosthetics on her eyes.
Was that the girl who actually was named Voorhees? Because it was one of the cast members of one of those movies. I think it was that one. Literally had the last name of Voorhees in real life.
Yeah, she does have her last name is Voorhees. Yeah, Deborah Voorhees. Yeah.
And there was something about in the first movie, because Bing Crosby's son is in the first movie. He's the one that gets the arrow in the eye, and there was something about the way they did that effect that was causing trouble, or something. The way they attached it to the eye, and I think they said there was something going on that caused trouble.
Hmm.
Who would have thought a major horror movie is linked to the famous Bing Crosby? But I mean, it's just in the old days. I mean, I think I've heard like they need to do a smile, a twisted smile. Like, okay, let's put the metal wire in our mouth. And you hear these old stories like Frankenstein. What was it? Was it Boris Karloff had like the boards and the stuff to make him walk and move stiff? That cannot be comfortable to have to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see all the stuff that they used to do. All of the technology and the way things are made now makes it much more easier than. So it's like we have it easier now, so thankfully. So
hell, now they can CGI that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
they just CGI monsters, whereas like with the real effects, people would be in the makeup room for hours and hours, 12 hours just to get all the specialty stuff on.
Yeah, there was a movie made back in, I think it was the 90s. Man, it was about this guy who turns into like this mutant bug thing. And they made a big deal that they used practical and CGI to do him because from the waist up was a costume. From the waist down was his green tights, which, by the way, when you see the behind-the-scene images of a guy with a big, giant mutant bug costume on and green tights, scrawny legs and green tights, is a sight. But they just basically went in and put in the lower body. And they made a big deal. Like, look what we did. We joined the two.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest peeves about CGI, and when I reviewed Killjoy 1, I kind of had to put this in there, is CGI blood.
Yeah, CGI blood is.
What's even worse is, okay, someone gets shot, they cannot even take the time to just cut the holes in the shirt and put a little fake blood. You just saw them get shot all up in the chest, and then they're laying there and there's no holes. No fake blood. And that annoys me when they do that. It takes, not even 5 minutes. Cut, little fake blood. That's all you got to do.
What's funny is like when it looks like Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat in Genesis, how the blood cloud shot up in the game. When that happens in the movie, I'm like, oh, they Mortal Kombat blood that.
Or that the blood, like once it splatters, then it immediately disappears. Like you see blood splatter on the screen, and then it's gone now.
Oh yeah, there's no blood. It's like a splatter and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone just got torn up and stuff, and there's all this blood, and then they're laying there. It's just like
completely dry.
5 minutes ago, there was a whole bunch of blood.
That vampire must have came up and licked the floor clean. I guess I don't know. Right.
But sometimes, like in that movie I talked about, She Comes from the Woods. I was like, oh, it's all practical effects until one scene of William Sadler's in it, and he gets his head shot off. And it's real quick, but it's like, I take back the practical effects line.
I still got to watch that one. I got to put that on my Tubi list.
Yeah,
but here's the thing, okay? They call that a Tubi original. It's not. Last August at some horror convention in Texas, they
probably
screened it.
There.
Yeah, they screened it. It's one of the movies they screened. Then February, March of this year, it received a theatrical release. Which is why when I reviewed it, it was like 2022, 2023. And now it's on Tubi as a Tubi original. It's like, no, it's not. It's a good movie. Good movie. It's one of those movies that tries to get that 80s feel. Right down to those super shorts that they had to wear that showed up everyone's butt cheeks and the knee-high socks and a mullet. It's got the 80s feel. Which, by the way, I still hate those shorts. Still hate them. I got given a pair in 7th grade for PE because I didn't have any shorts. They gave me a pair of those. And then they asked me why I would never get my gym gear for PE. You see the shorts?
That and the crop tops, like some of the movies from the 80s, the guys wore like those short shorts and then the crop tops, like in like the Rocky movies and like the other camp movies.
Yeah.
The cover for The Wraith, which is a Charlie Sheen one, there's a guy, he's got like a trench coat on and he's got one of those tops on. He's like, you want to see the fashion of the 80s? There you go. A trench coat and a crop top.
And those white socks with like the blue and yellow stripes that they would pull up like to their knees. Like that seemed to be the socks of the 80s for men.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the only people who wear socks like these days are old guys in the 60s or 70s. Nobody in the right mind is gonna wear those. Let's pull those up to my knees. I haven't seen them in stores. Oh God.
People are still wearing the wife beaters today.
I got rid of mine a long time ago because I got sick of the jokes. It's like, it feels comfortable. Wife beater.
That was the dirty wife beater with the suspenders. Just.
There was a wrestler who used to wear those as part of his ring gear, and he would keep them clean. And you always he was always like, hey, if you're gonna when you grab me, don't grab the shirt. And he goes, someone grabbed it one time and just did a little, stretch it out a little. And he goes, once they got backstage, that guy was pissed. It's like, this is part of my gear.
It's like, you better replace it. Yeah.
And they used to have those long sleeve shirts that didn't go down all the way on the sleeves. The sleeves were a different color and they only went down to about here. Maybe a little bit like that, which were also.
Oh yeah, I know in women's fashion there was like those 3/4 sleeves. I hated those. It was like popular, like I want to say like in the 2000s. Like I was seeing them in the women's department. These like 3/4 sleeves.
Yeah, you would see them in the 80s, but I never felt comfortable wearing them because it felt so odd not to have the sleeve go down all the way. So it always felt so odd to me, uncomfortable.
It was like a shirt. It was like a shirt version of the Caprice pants.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's why I say I miss the 80s, but the hairdo and the fashions can stay there. Otherwise, give us the other stuff. Let the other stuff stay in the 80s. Not the fashion, not the hairdo. We don't need that.
Just the movies and the music.
And the music. And the music.
Yeah.
Because I know like the fantasy movies in the 80s, like I love all the fantasy movies from the 80s, like Labyrinth, The Last Unicorn, The Never-Ending Story. It's just, they were so great.
Labyrinth, but what made Labyrinth double cool was the music.
Yeah. I mean, David Bowie. I mean, awesome.
The Goblin King. Yeah.
Yeah. And was it Magic Dance?
Yeah, Magic Dance.
Yeah.
Then one part was like, slap that baby, make him pee.
And a movie that's been joked about because of his tights.
Yeah.
Yep. He's well known for that.
But that Jim Henson, because Jim Henson during that time, he also put out Dark Crystal, which is they did a prequel show.
Yeah, on Netflix there was a show. I bookmarked it, but I never got around to watching it because I never really. I've seen the Dark Crystal, but that was never one of my. I always kind of found it kind of creepy. That was never one of my favorite fantasy films from the 80s.
But when you look at Jim Henson, he was doing Sesame Street, he was doing the Muppets, and then with something like Dark Crystal, it was just like completely different than what he was doing. Which, by the way, Fraggle Rock, if anyone hasn't watched the original Fraggle Rock, you're missing out.
Yes, I loved Fraggle Rock.
Which they also did a new one of, which I haven't seen yet.
Really? I didn't even hear about that.
It's instead of the old man, it's a woman.
Oh, okay.
It's like a remake type deal that they did. Came out either last year or early this year. I forget on who. Ooh, Steven's having problems.
Oh, we lost Steven.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, like I thought the dog was real because, like, the dog was a puppet, but the puppet was kind of made to look like an actual dog. Like I knew the Fraggles were Muppets, but I don't know, for some reason I thought the dog was real.
Well,
I don't know what happened. Like, I didn't hear any of what you were saying about Jim Henson. It was like cutting out, and I'm like, okay, is that my end or your end? And then all of a sudden, not connected to the internet, and then it connected back. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, that happened to me earlier too. I just got bumped off. And then...
Instagram's been, not Instagram, but StreamYard's been having its issues as of late. Again. It goes through these periods where there's nothing, well, everything's okay, and then it just acts up. Well, like your online also says, you got no internet signal, and you're looking down. Oh, not my little symbol saying.
I don't know if you had said something or if they brought up, but here's a movie.
And by Beau's Afraid of Everything, I think they're talking about. That was, I think, that new Phoenix. What's his first name? Not River. Was it River? No. Joaquin. He has that new movie, Beau's Afraid of Everything, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen it at work on the shelf. Yeah, Beau is Afraid. I'll have to check that out too, probably eventually. There's so many movies and stuff, but I watch enough as it is, and then watch stuff for the show. It's impossible to see everything that I want to.
Try doing 31 days.
Yeah,
this is going to be the only year I do that, because you got to hunt down the movies. And I was like, hey, the Manhunter movie series was the series done for sci-fi about killing monsters, animals, and bugs. 28 films. 16 are online, but I've already reviewed one. Okay, that's 15. So I got and one's not an English game, so that's 14. And I realized these movies are so boring. I did like 7 or 8. So I've been having to run around. There's got to be something to review.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead,
Greta.
I'm
going to sign off. It was nice talking to you guys. Okay. We'll be talking to you soon.
Yep. All right. See you soon. Bye.
Night.
Have a good night.
So. Oh yeah, Wes is going to be doing a watch along to something with that movie Dick Shark.
Oh yeah.
And I watched Hobbs' review of it. He goes 3 hours and 20 minutes.
It's 3 hours.
And then he goes, "Oh, there's a long because like 3 hours and 40 minutes." I'm like, it's a horror movie, and it's
what is this? What is this? The Titanic attacked by a dick shark? I mean,
it's like, oh Lord, that's too much. Don't get me wrong. You know, okay, what did it say? Terrified was what, over 2 hours or something like that? Terrified 2?
Yeah.
But over 3 hours? Holy moly, that's... What's your ideal length for a horror movie you think would be good? I'm going with 90 minutes. What would you think would be a good length for a horror movie? To hold your interest, not, lose you.
Probably about an hour and a half, give or take. I mean, unless there's something where you need a little bit of a more story to it. But I mean, even though Terrifier 2 was over, 2 hours, whatever. But I mean, it went by pretty quick, though. I mean, it was entertaining. It was fast paced. It wasn't, had any dead spots or no pun intended. But, it just kept on going. So
you could say it had a good pace and
yeah,
it kept you going. But I don't know about a 3 hour and 20-minute horror movie.
Well, Stephen King's The Stand is like 6 hours, but you can break it up though in segments. But
yeah. Wes is saying that Terrifier 2 doesn't feel like it. It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
I thought it was a little over 2 hours. I didn't realize it was almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I'm not sure if it's in a couple weeks but they're bringing. I think was it the first Terrifier back to theaters or the second one again, or maybe the first one. But they're going to have a tease for Terrifier 3 though that they're going to show at the end.
Well, okay, movie theaters on the 20th and the 21st here. I don't know about where you live. Mm-hmm. We're bringing back some of the old horror movies for a couple nights.
Yeah, and
they had some good picks this year.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? The original Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Witches, The Burbs, Killer Clowns, Ghost Ship. Can't remember what other ones. I've already saw Ghost Ship in the movie theater. Mm-hmm. Killer Clowns was, Gremlins. Gremlins was the other one.
Okay.
Killer Clowns and Gremlins are the only Well, maybe Beetlejuice would be fun to see in a theater.
Yeah.
Would they do that where you live? The theaters bring out any of the old movies, like a special Halloween deal?
I'll have to check and see if they're doing anything. Sometimes they do like a couple of nights of stuff, but I don't know. I haven't looked it up yet. So I do know I'll probably, I mean, even though it's going to be on Peacock, I think, same day as theaters, the Five Nights at Freddy's is out the 27th.
Ooh.
So, but I'm probably going to go with some friends and see it at the drive-in. So that'll be cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
I haven't played those games yet. And I mean, I don't really,
yeah,
I don't play horror games because they don't scare me. They kind of bore me.
The Quarry is awesome. You got to play the Quarry though.
I actually, I have that, but I haven't.
And there's like multiple outcomes, and I mean you can play it multiple times and different choices. And if you don't find certain items, or
is that the one that's part of a series of games that are like that?
So, there's another one. What's it called? I forget what it is, but there's like a different series of ones. And one of them you're like lost in a town.
In a mine, but the thing is that kind of you look at it started with Until Dawn. Was that the one where they're in the mountains?
I believe so.
Well, I think because it's like it is like a movie, but it's like those old books you used to get where you'd go, okay, you get to that part, go to this page.
You used to choose your own ending.
Yeah, it's kind of what these are, just like that.
Yeah. And some of that stuff you got to be quick too on the decisions too in the court. That's awesome though, because it's got Lynn Shay's in it, David Arquette, not Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi. Ted Raimi is in it. Yeah, I mean they got some big horror actors in there. And then what's funny is they got Brenda Song. She plays in that. But they got some good people in there though.
Well, one of these faces looks like, because I can see that's Ted.
Yeah, and then Lynn Shay is on there. David Arquette.
Is Lance Haskins or whatever in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, because I can see that face. I'm looking at like, is that Lance?
Yeah, Lance Henriksen is in it. Yeah.
I'm definitely. I got this installed, but I haven't played it yet. I'm definitely gonna have to then.
It took me, I think, I played it a couple times, but the total runtime that I played it was like 7 or 8 hours, I think, until the end. Yeah.
And by having the different choices, for me, what makes a game really good is replayability.
Mm-hmm.
So if it has different choices,
you can go back. You can play it a few times. There's different endings and so different outcomes where some people. Like some people may die if you do one thing, or you may live to that one. So
it's a damn shame that Xbox doesn't allow. Well, maybe it's on sale on PlayStation, but Xbox doesn't allow you to stream on YouTube.
Really? I didn't know that.
If you have a capture card, you can, but right from the system, you can only do like Twitch, and I'm not. When it comes to streaming on Twitch, I'm no disrespect. I know a lot of people have good luck with Twitch and streaming. I don't. And to me, it's more frustrating. So I prefer YouTube.
Okay.
But to anybody who likes Twitch, I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But also, I'm pretty sure it's on Xbox too. The Life is Strange is a fun game, and there's
I played the original series where the girl could like
rewind power.
Yeah, I think I did like the first one. But like horror games, they don't. Some people can sit there and get a jump. I'll be like, scream like, and I'm just like, I played Alien Isolation, and everyone looked like they were having fun and screaming and stuff, and I'm just sitting there. Oh, look, it's Alien. Maybe someday someone will make a game and it will get me going, freaking me out, but
yeah,
it just doesn't do it. And it's not because I've watched a ton of horror. I just think that they're not, well, maybe it is because I've watched a ton of horror that I've become a bit, what's the one I'm thinking of?
Kind of desensitized a little bit, but
I get that from watching bad movies. You would think I would have it with bad movies, but the hell? I think they're running the street cleaner. I hate it. Late at night, you're asleep, and they run that thing, and it wakes you up. You're just like, please don't. Can't you have a better time where it doesn't wake me up? Because it gets loud.
Right. I can hear these. Actually, I sort of hear them now. I can't tell if it's music or TV, but they'll play music or TV next. I don't know, but I can hear it from next door, and it's so damn annoying, so loud, and they do it late at night. Like, and I get up at 5 a.m, and it doesn't stop. And at one point, I might just bang on the wall. But so last night, and I hope it was them next door, not my roommate. I don't know. But I had the TV on loud because I don't want to hear that crap or whatever. So, and I was watching. Speaking of Tubi, they have the world's scariest monsters or something. They tell from each state, like supposed real monsters in each state and everything, and legends and everything. And so I fell asleep to that, and then I was dreaming. I don't know what was on. Maybe because I recently watched it. I think it might have been like the old school X-Men in the dream, and I was watching it. But it wasn't really like an episode. It was like a weird, how dreams have stuff that doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. It's just, but it's random or whatever. And in my dream, someone else was saying and it wasn't that loud, but they were saying, turn it, like they're shouting really loud, turn it down, I want to sleep, turn it down. And I'm dreaming this, and I'm trying to get the remote, and there's no batteries in the remote, and I'm trying to do that, but I'm still dreaming. And then I wake up, and I actually hear someone saying, turn it down, turn it. Like, I don't know if it was from this was like about 1:34 in the morning. I woke up after the dream. I guess it was them saying it, but I was like dreaming, like it went into my dream, which is really weird. So they could have been shouting longer than, because I don't know how long dreaming, like waking up and what was going on, in the real world, I guess you could say, whatever.
The like, world of the awoken.
Yeah, the awoken or whatever. But anyway, and then I hear someone saying, I want to sleep, turn it down, turn it. They're just shouting it over and over. And I'm hoping it's not my roommate upstairs, but I'm hoping it's the asshole next door that plays stuff, be like, ha, revenge. How do you like it? So I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen my
we get the ice cream man every now and then who'll drive by. And I've been on stream before when he's done it. So I real quick got to hit the mute button on the mic. It's like, oh, shit. I don't want that being picked up.
Ice cream.
I like ice cream, but it's not worth getting in trouble with YouTube because he's playing copyrighted music or something.
It does that on YouTube?
Well, like the mic, if it picks it up when it goes by, I don't want the mic to pick it up. And if I'm on my stream or someone else's stream, especially if I'm on someone else's stream, it's one thing for me to get in trouble. I don't want someone else to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because then it would be my fault, and I would feel like crap. So it's like, no.
I didn't think of that. Like if the ice cream truck would, but yeah, that makes sense. I guess it would be copyrighted music. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know how well it would pick it up, or if YouTube would be like, we'll let it pass, or if YouTube would be like, nope.
Well, I've heard people get in trouble because they had their TV on in the background or something. It's like, really? Like, come on. So stupid. I mean, like if you're like showing it intentionally on there, and then, okay, so maybe they'll give you a warning. I still think, because see, what I don't understand is like, I see stuff anyway that's, copyrighted, but like it's still posted up on there through different channels and everything. Like there was, I forget, was it last year or the year before, probably the year before, there was something that I was doing one of the Wild Eye weeks or something with Wild Eye, or I was making a trailer, and I took the clips that were already posted on there, and I didn't even use the whole ones. I just clipped them in like a flash of different, titles, and they kept taking it down, saying it was copy. They wouldn't let me post the video. I'm like, what? It's not even the full trailer. It's like a combination of different movies, and then they wouldn't allow me to post it. I'm like, it kept getting taken down. I couldn't post it.
I mean, there's always different ways. Some people have done it where they flip the image. I've seen that. The 10-second rule, which I don't know if that's still there. I used to use the 10-second rule, where it couldn't be longer than 10 seconds. I always try to get it under 10 seconds and space them apart.
Yeah, I don't know how they changed that or what their policies are, but it's weird though. It's saying, or no, I know what it was. It was saying it was too gory. That's what it was. It wasn't that it was copyrighted. It was like the image on it or the footage. I forget how they worded it.
A community guideline thing.
Yeah, a community guideline or something. But I'm like, but it was already posted up there. It was I forget if it was like it was from a couple Wild Eye movies and the extreme ones. You know how they're gory, but it's like they're already posted on YouTube. So shouldn't that be taken down? Because I took it from that clip. So I don't understand why I can't post it yet someone else can.
Yeah, there was this clip of a wrestling show where this guy on the outside of the ring and he lets somebody set his crotch on fire. And then the guy, he's trying to pull down his tights, his opponent comes in with a weed whacker. And he uses the weed whacker and the guy shoots across the room. This is on this video. It's hard to find on YouTube, but it's on YouTube. So I go to test it out to make sure no problems. Okay, you got to be 18 or older. All right. Then I get a community guideline strike warning. It's still there on my channel. And someone said it's only supposed to be there for 90 days or something. No, this happened back in January, February, March, or whatever. And here we are, October. And when you go to my studio, one of the first things you see is community guideline strike warning. It's
so stupid. I hate how they do that.
Yeah, so now like if I do any clip that's got to have violence in it, I'm like worried. I got to be like super careful now because
you see stuff on there that's like super violent anyway. It's like, so how is that on there? And yet I try to put something on there similar or not as bad, yet I'm the one that gets the strike.
I got in trouble with Facebook on my old Facebook page for showing a clip of one of the Call of Duty games when I was killing people going, I'm having a good time playing this game, killing the NPCs. I got in trouble because they're like, that's wrong. And then I kind of replied, well, you do know that there's all these trailers? And they turn around and they're like, never mind, the clip's back. Once again, point out to me, like, you have all these movie trailers and stuff that show, a lot more violence than some guy shooting NPCs. Yeah. People being knifed and cut up. It's just like, doesn't make sense.
It's double standards. Like, I don't understand
how someone else can do it. Okay, I think some of the was like wrestling clips. Some of it was like news. So I guess if I did it as a news thing, but yeah, there's a lot. They have nude yoga and testing out sex toys on YouTube, but they're able to get through it by saying it's educational. Apparently, there's a loophole there. It's buried. They buried it. These videos, but it's there. But I guess you can show some stuff if it's educational.
I don't know. Whatever. It's weird. So, I don't even know anymore. It's like, can I post this? It's like,
it's like I say, it's not worth it. Always trying to figure them out. You're just gonna get gray hairs. It's gonna affect your health. So just don't figure it out. But it's just like, what? How do I get in trouble when these other people aren't? Did they find a loophole that we haven't found?
Yeah, I hate that. I don't know.
You keep like sinking down.
Yeah.
And we're the horror community, so it gets pretty violent in horror movies. So
exactly. So what do we do?
That's why you don't see clips really in any of my interviews anymore. Yeah. Because of that whole incident. Because it's like I did have a DMCA strike. I had to get it removed. To get it removed, I had to watch a video on copyright law and YouTube, take a test, super easy test, by the way, and then stay out of trouble for about a month, and they would remove it. But it's like the community guideline strike warning. It happens again. It's not going to be removed. It's not going to be a warning. It's going to be me in trouble. So I try to play it a little safe, but I still get worried. Oh, they're going to get mad at me about something I've done. So it's still there.
Yeah. I wish they had it where they wouldn't worry about strikes or anything, and they would just let you put whatever on there, say whatever. I mean, within reason, not like nothing illegal, but you know what I mean, like stuff that we post and not get in trouble for.
Well, someone was talking about doing a YouTube adult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if it's not for like the pornographic stuff, but for the edgier stuff, that maybe an older audience would like to see.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't violate copyright law or it's not super out there.
Yeah.
That'd be great for us because then we could do,
like reviews. I said, nothing illegal, but what we like, that's more adult stuff. That would be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as it stays, legal, and be like, hey, look at this clip from this movie, Terrifier, where he picks a girl's, picking the meat off her bones and she's still alive.
Right. Check out this clip, whatever.
I think that would be a good idea, though. And as we were talking, I think it was Wes and I were talking, I think we were the one talking about it, it would bring in sponsors.
It probably would.
The ones that you don't normally see. And I have a joke say, hey, Magnum condoms, you're going to get, but you're like, hey, somebody like Budweiser or Jack Daniels. Some product that's geared towards adults.
Yeah.
That they normally wouldn't use. Well, okay, they do manscaping. But it would bring in money.
Yeah.
And so, hey, YouTube, if you like money, just say, here's an idea.
And if you're spying on us listening for anything, yeah, it would be a good idea, though.
And again, because I don't think that because we're horror tubers, I think we are not one of the favorites. They have the ones they like. I think we would flourish on an adult YouTube. We would really flourish because this would be a lot of people would be checking us out. We'd see us get promoted more.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Russell.
Hey. Welcome. But yeah, that definitely worked out. All right. Well, I got to get up at 5 again tomorrow. So, anything else going on you want to share, Echo?
Well,
your 31 days, or
I got 24 reviews done. I'm waiting I pre-ordered a couple of the Visual Vengeance, Vampires and the Other Stereotypes. This comes out the 24th. I'm just waiting for them to take the money and ship it to me. And hopefully, I wanted to get it by Wednesday, before Wednesday, to do a Wild Eye Wednesday, but I'm not. I got my list. Motorcycles is on there. Halloween, Tales of Halloween that he was talking about is on there. Totally Killer is on there.
Yeah.
So I gotta watch Kill Her Goats still.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
So I got 7 more, I think it was. Yeah, 24. I got 7 more to go. Well, 6 more since I'm waiting for that. Hopefully get that one before the month is over.
Yeah. I went ahead, and since I hadn't done any in a while, I went ahead and I did like 5 Wild Eye reviews.
Yeah, I gotta watch those because when you watch someone's channel, when you sub to someone's channel, you gotta leave a comment. And I don't think I've done that in a while with your channel, so I gotta go watch them and leave some comments on them so that they don't decide to do take your subscription away.
Yeah, so, I'm bad at that. I gotta go and comment on some people's pages too. I'm bad at that. Unfortunately,
they're on my watch later list. They should be at the top, so I could go back and watch them and then leave some comments so that even if it's a simple great review, so that my subscription, there's other people's channels, I got to do that too, so the subscriptions stick. Because you did Cocaine Shark.
Yeah, that was one of them.
So I got to go back and watch those. Probably after the stream ends and I go to the bathroom, I'll come back and I'll watch your because you get your 5. When's the last time before them you did a review?
It's been a while. I mean, I've just been focusing on the show mostly than doing reviews or anything. So, but I should start doing reviews again. And so I don't know, but it's hard. Like I said, stuff I like to watch, stuff I watch for the show, work. So it's just
Yeah, I was working on 31 Days and then reviewing. I was picking movies and then I had to watch those other movies that I found on Tubi from the God, now her name skipped my mind. The one we were going to interview. I was watching.
Oh, Elizabeth Chamberlain, the grotesque.
Yeah, I was like watching those and then watching movies to review. So.
Yeah, I think she said she can do the 11th of November. So,
but remember my idea. I really would think it would be fun. The idea that I gave you.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that too. So on your channel, yeah. So we'll figure that out. So,
but yeah.
So all right. Well,
okay. Hey, one question. Okay, next Saturday. Because who are we interviewing?
Oh, it's the Palooza. But I just found out that I may be going to Spooky Empire, so I might just hold off next weekend because I really want to be a part of that. So I might just move that to the next week or whatever. So.
Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
Could I do it next week and do a House of Horrors Halloween special?
If you'd rather do that, then yeah, and then we can do the Palooza later. So yeah, you can do like a Halloween show or something. So yeah, that'll work if you want to do that. That's fine.
I'm decided to make the offer, you know.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I just really want to be a part of the Palooza. You know, I love paranormal and supernatural stuff and all that. So, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Russell. So, yeah, what we were talking about too. If you want to like just watch something, leave a comment, like a couple of minutes, like a short one or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people they go, we could just sub. I've been on streams. They go, hey, this sub. I kind of add. Watch a video about 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And leave a comment so that it will stick.
Yeah. I hate that. Well, it's like if you sub to someone, sure, if you watch it, but they just think, I guess, just a sub for sub, you're not allowed to do, which is, but whatever. So, and I'll check if you have any videos too, Russell. So, but yeah, we can talk about that in a little bit or tomorrow or whatever. And, so, yep. So everyone who joined, thanks for stopping by. If you're watching the replay, you know, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.